Hello and welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Pooja Dwivedi, and in this segment today we are going to discuss about Indo-Afghan relations in the contemporary times. This topic is important from the perspective of prelims and also from the perspective of GS Mains Paper 2. So let's begin with the topics of discussion. But before we begin, I would like to inform you about a special offer on the occasion of the auspicious festival of Holi. Now, Drishti IAS is providing a special offer on all online as well as pen drive courses from 24th of March to 30th of March. If you want to know more about it, you can contact on the given number or even look at the Drishti Learning app or the website. So let's begin with topics of discussion. First of all, of course, we will talk about why news. Then we will discuss about Afghanistan peace process with a gist of the background. We will discuss about India-Afghan relationship and significance of India in the peace process. We will also discuss the challenges, the way forward for your mains answer writing. And in the last of the segment, I am going to offer you a mains-based question. So let's begin with why in news. Now, as we all know that the Afghan peace deal has been in the news as we are approaching the month of May 2021, when it is needed, it is required by the American government to withdraw its troops from Afghanistan soil. But this topic has come to the fore today because of the Foreign Affairs Minister of Afghanistan who has visited India, and he landed on India on Monday for a 3-day visit in order to enhance bilateral ties, also take the help of India for building a more robust regional as well as international cooperation, along with enhancing cooperation when it comes to all the stakeholders. Now, this constant engagement by the legitimate government of Afghanistan with India shows that India is going to play a very key role in building a consensus. So, if we talk about Afghanistan peace process, a bit of the background is required after the attacks of 9/11 in America, which killed nearly 3,000 people. As soon as this happened, Osama bin Laden was identified as the man responsible. And as we know that in 2000, Taliban was in power in Afghanistan, and when America demanded actually for the handing over of Osama bin Laden to the American administration, Taliban denied. After that, what happened? America started airstriking just after a month of its happening, and it was also joined by the coalition forces. Now, Taliban, of course, after that, it was reduced to a very restricted district of restricted property premises of Afghanistan, but it was removed from the power. But after that, it became an insurgent group and started attacking towards the legitimate government of Afghanistan. Now, after a point of time, it was seen as a stalemate. There was a war stalemate, and in the year 2017, Donald Trump's Afghanistan policy came into the fore, which wanted to break the stalemate by more 5,000 American soldiers who were given freer hand to go behind Taliban. And also, this particular policy of Donald Trump wanted to enhance the capabilities of Afghanistan by putting Pakistan on notice. But after a point of time, it was realized by the Trump administration that as long as the Taliban is enjoying safe havens in Pakistan, it is impossible for Taliban to be get ridden of. Then Pakistan came into the picture, and America changed its track, wanting and requesting Pakistan to build a conclusive approach towards ending the stalemate of war in Afghanistan. And after certain round of talks, after the appointment of the US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad, after 9 rounds of talks with Taliban, then comes the US-Taliban peace deal, which was signed in February 2020. Now, if we talk about that, let's see the salient features of this particular deal. First was troops withdrawal. America needed to get its troop withdrawn out of Afghanistan soil. 8,600 troops to be withdrawn in 135 days, and in the 14 months period, the entire troop of US should leave along with the coalition troops. Then, if we talk about the contemporary times, the last contingent of 2,500 troops remain, and the promised month for that is the month of May 2021. The second was Taliban commitment. Now, Taliban committed that they will not let any individual or any group such as Al-Qaeda to use the Afghani soil in order to launch attacks towards US or US's allies. Then sanctions removal. Sanctions of the UN as well as US to be withdrawn when it comes to the Talibanese leadership, and prisoner release was also a key feature. That means 5,000 prisoners should have been released by the US and 1,000 prisoners by the Taliban to be released. That was also a commitment. But the legitimate government of Afghanistan, it said that we do not identify this peace deal to be valid because we are being sidelined. We are the legitimate group and the US is trying to have talks with Taliban by bypassing us. Also, there was another challenge in the entire deal that no mention of constitution was made, and having followed the Shariat law with the constitution is next to impossible actually. There were certain challenges. So now if we talk about the Biden administration, this new deal this revised plan has come to the fore, which is of course, it's saying that we must have a delay in the withdrawal of troops. Now, as we know that the Defense Secretary of the US visited India. After India, the US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin also made a surprise visit to Afghanistan, indicating that the troops of America would stay a little longer than May. This deal wanted Taliban to be immediately quick in response when it comes to curbing violence for 90 days for a more peaceful consensus building. Also, it should be inclusive process. This deal is not dictating terms. US will not dictate terms to the Afghanistani people. It wants the entire peace process to build on more fundamental principles, and that should be, of course, in the best interest of Afghanistan. And Turkey's role. US has also asked Turkey to convene a meeting in Kabul in order to get a better kickstart to the entire peace process. And unified approach, the US has called for the United Nations to bring to the table Russia, Iran, China, India, Pakistan and the US in order to have a more comprehensive and coordinated approach towards the peace deal. Now, because we have all these key stakeholders, this becomes a more complex process, but let's see if all the countries can see eye to eye on this matter. Moving on, now we will look at Afghanistan. See, here is Afghanistan sharing a very small border of 106 kilometers with India. Can you kindly tell me in the comment segment what is the name of this particular border? Moving on, Afghanistan is having its capital at Kabul, and it is surrounded by Pakistan, India, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan and Iran. Please keep this in mind. It could be asked in your prelims geography section. Moving on, let's talk about the significance of Afghanistan for India. First is economic and strategic interests. Now, as you can see according to this map, Afghanistan lies at the heart. It is a key to get into the Central Asia region, which is oil and mineral rich. And also we have the Chabahar port in Iran, and Afghanistan is of course a very significant part of the Chabahar project. Also, it will play a very important role when we talk about international north-south transport corridor. So first is strategic importance, then developmental projects. If we talk about the developmental projects, we can never forget about certain projects which have made India to have a soft power over Afghanistan. So here we have Zaranj Telaram project, very important project. This could be asked in prelims. We also have a 220 kilowatt DC transmission line from Pule Khumri to Kabul, and the Salma Dam or the India-Afghanistan Friendship Dam. So there are so many developmental projects, we have already discussed it, and security interests. Now India has two aims over here. First is they don't want the jihadis to use this particular ground, this particular soil of Afghanistan for having attacks in Jammu and Kashmir such as Al-Qaeda. Also, India does not want Pakistan to have a friendly government in Afghanistan. So that is the entire significance of Afghanistan for India. Now recently, China also hosted a meeting for kickstarting and jump-starting the peace process more conclusively. So India was also a part of it, along with Iran, China, Pakistan, and the US, and of course Moscow, which is playing a diplomatic role over here. Moscow, that means Russia. In international parlance, we refer to countries with their international capital. And now see, when Lloyd Austin visited India, he also talked about Afghanistan peace process, but here it is saying that human rights issues, this couldn't get figured out in the entire peace process, because India is also it's very indicative of the fact that India wants human rights to be conserved in, if we talk about Afghanistan. So that couldn't take place, but it will eventually. Now let's talk about the peace process and India's significance. First is, India needs an Afghan-led, Afghan-owned and Afghan-controlled peace process. This entire process must be with the help of the legitimate government. And India also has done heavy investment in infrastructure. We have already discussed that. India also hopes to have a role in settling human dispute terms on humanitarian grounds. Challenges are many. First challenge is how to have an approach in the contemporary times, because there is a dilemma. Dilemma in the sense, this entire dilemma actually wants that India as a country needs to coordinate with the legitimate government, and Taliban is not a legitimate government. Also, if we talk about Taliban and India, they have had SAR relationship in the past, so how can we do that? And also there is exclusion of India when it comes to 6+2+1 dialogue process. So this entire dialogue process, India was not a part of it. First reason was cited that India did not share boundary with Afghanistan because it comes in the POK region. This was the international reason. Second, India did not acknowledge the talks with Taliban. Moving on, first way forward that we are going to talk about here is, we have to, as India as a country, we have to be very careful with having a peace building process when it comes to bridging the Ghani-Abdullah divide, because the legitimate government also has lot of substratas that are retaliating against each other. Also, diplomatic routes should be taken into account for more inclusiveness when it comes to 6+2+1 dialogue, right? Also, India should be very careful about the fact that India needs to modify its policies accordingly, because we need allies right now. India as a country needs allies right now, and we need allies in order to grow economically and strategically, especially when it comes to Russia and USA. Also, India can learn from US-Taliban talks, where two opposing parties have come at one single table to negotiate peaceful terms. But let's see, because this table, if we are talking about China, Pakistan, Iran, US, Russia, all these countries are locking horns in contemporary times with each other. So first we need to have a consensus on many bilateral issues, then only we can see something multilateral issue getting converted peacefully. Moving on, let's look at our question. Okay, so how a recent power sharing agreement in Afghanistan will impact India's interest in Afghanistan, you have to critically analyze it. So I hope you'll be able to practice this question. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.